What's up, everyone? My name's Shane Tracy, co-founder of Dolphinately. Welcome to my In the Bag. We're gonna start off with my trusty putter. This is a Wizard, Gateway Wizard, pure white plastic. It's really stiff. It's good for the putts in the wind, pretty much any putt that I'm doing at any time. Next up is my XT Nova. It's for longer putts and approach shots. It's pretty much my only other putter type that I have in the bag. So I'm usually choosing between the Wizard or the Nova. We're gonna go through a couple of my mid-ranges. These are discs that are either used on kind of really short drives, 200, 250 feet, or stuff that's off of bad first shot when I'm looking for 150, 200 feet out. My first one that I use probably the most is going to be my Star Lichen. As you'll notice, most of the discs in my bag are going to be light blue, royal blue, or white, kind of my old school colors, alumni from Sonoma State. So this is my Star Lichen. Most of these are going to be just a little bit flippy, but stable up pretty good. Try and have a late fade just sitting next to the basket. Next one, I don't use too much. I'm still kind of learning the disc. This is an F2 Inova Mako 3. Just trying to figure out what exactly the line I want to throw on it. Most of the time it's kind of flat or just a little bit Anheuser and letting it stable up nice and late. So still kind of learning it. Next one, this is my Star Spider. Not this disc, but the Spider was one of the first discs I ever started playing disc golf with, coming from Ultimate. So it's been real trusty for me. Feels really good in the hand. It's got a little, just a little bead on there, so it feels really good when I'm throwing either, like I said, a drive about 200 feet or something maybe upshot about 150 feet. So really have a lot of control with this disc. This is one of the only two Discraft discs in my bag. It's the MacBeth Buzz. Pretty stable. It's got a long flight. I kind of throw it pretty much hyzer and just let it fade the whole way, but it definitely glides for a long time. So really enjoy throwing this disc recently. Next up is one of my favorite driving mid-ranges. This is my Special Blend or SP Line Aftershock. It's the only DGA disc that I have in the bag. Basically like almost like a metal flake for Innova folks, and pretty much like a rock. It actually replaced the rock that was in my bag previously. Just really like having this for nice controlled either Anheuser or flat to hyzer shots, maybe about 250, 300 feet or so. So use it pretty frequently. Last up from mid-ranges is going to be my Pro Pig. Just threw this one in the bag recently to replace a Gator that I had in for the longest time. I actually really like having this disc for forehand up shots. They're kind of cut and tight corners. And then since it is that kind of pro plastic, it's got a nice little grip to it. It just feels really good in the hand when I'm trying to throw these kind of flat or hyzer up shots. So. Next up, we're going to go through some of my my favorite fairway drivers. I do throw these kind of mixed in throughout my round, kind of depends on which hole. I'll start with the least stable of these discs, which is going to be my Star Leopard 3. Leopard 3 has just enough on it to where I can throw an Anheuser and kind of let it fade out late. So just put a little bit of Annie on it or throw it flat, and it will actually will flip just a little bit, but will stable up super late if I'm trying to get a real long drive, but around some trees, but can also throw it pretty flat when I need to too. Next up, I've got two TBirds in my bag. Had another TBird, a Star TBird in my bag. I loved it for the longest time, but I finally aced with it about a year ago, so I had to put it up on the wall. Been going back and forth between these two. The first one is my KJ Naibo TBird. Shout out to my good friend Smiley, who got this for my birthday last year. Just really enjoy throwing this disc, whether it's on just nice flat or hyzer shots, or even I've been throwing a little bit on forehand lines, just trying to keep something controlled when I'm trying to go through some trees. And then this new one is an Innova factory second, just some more practice with this disc. Wanted to get a little champion plastic in there just to see how it feels in the hands while I'm working on some more forehands out on the park. And then this is probably one of the discs I use most. Right now this is a Star TBird 3. Really love this disc. It just glides for days. Can throw it a little bit Annie, but trust it and know that's going to fade out late. So I throw these anywhere from about 300, 350 feet. Just throw a little bit of flip on it, and then it's going to come back late and fade out. This is another one of my favorite discs. This is a Star Thunderbird. As you can see, another one that's in the light blue color. Really enjoy throwing this disc on just nice, easy hyzer shots. Don't have to worry about putting any Annie on it. Just throw it nice and flat, aim right at the basket, and just let it hold and fade the whole way towards the basket. So really enjoy this disc. All right, next we're gonna go to my drivers. As you'll notice, a lot of these drivers are gonna be destroyers, but different, we'll say different makes, different stability levels on them. So we'll start with the most stable. This is my brand new Steve Brinster Star Destroyer. Picked this up on Dollar Disc Golf Auctions about a month ago. Already made its way into the bag. It's just a beautiful disc. It's got some beautiful splatter on it. Like I said, it's pretty stable, so it's a real meat hook. This is when it's real windy out and I want to put something with a little bit of anhyzer on it, and just trust that it's going to fight the whole way. Next one, this is Avery Jenkins Star Destroyer. This is a 3-line from 2009 world champion Avery Jenkins. Really love this disc. As you can see, it's starting to get broken in a little bit, so it does have a little bit of flip, but it's still pretty beefy and still pretty much holds on when I throw hyzer line. Doesn't flip too far, or if I do put an anhyzer out, it's gonna fight its way back. Throw these on some of the longest holes on the course. Just put an Annie and just let it fade. Next up, this is the only other Discraft disc that I have in my bag. This is a Paul MacBeth. It was originally when it was the prototype driver. I think this turned into the Zeus. It turned into, but it's basically the Discraft version of the Destroyer. Feels pretty normal in the hand for me with all the other Destroyers I have in there. Just wanted to support MacBeth, but I really like it. It's pretty stable too, but I've thrown enough now that it's starting to break in a little bit, so it's got a little bit on it. I can throw it flat and actually will Annie up a little bit and then fade out really late. Got a couple birdies today at Taylor with it. This is the only Wraith that I have in my bag. It's an F2 Innova Star Wraith. Really like this disc for practicing my forehand shots. As you'll probably see from most of the videos, I do a lot of backhand, so trying to work in some form with some drives in there for forehand. Nice to have a Wraith. Got a pretty sweet birdie with this at Golden Gate Park a couple weeks ago, so really happy how this disc has been flying so far. All right, next up, this one's pretty close to my heart. This is it's a bottom stamp Destroyer. So originally this disc was all clean. There was nothing on the top, kind of domey as you can see here on the disc. And then I had a buddy of mine, shout out to my co-founder Alex McDreads Frazier, who stamped it with my old semi-pro ultimate team, San Francisco Dogfish. Shout out to my Dogfish homies out there. But yeah, this one's nice and beat in. It definitely will flex for me when I put it either Annie or flat. It'll flip up, it'll hold that line for a long time, and then it'll fade back super late. I love it. It's one of my most used Destroyers. But now for probably my most used Destroyer, this is another 3-line Avery Jenkins. Of course, haven't mentioned it yet, but almost all of my Destroyers are 175. I know a lot of people are saying people that are starting out playing disc golf should start anywhere from 165 to about 172. I've been playing disc golf for about 6 years now, so I feel like I've moved up and I have both the arm speed and wrist snap to throw these big 175s. Yeah, I love this disc. It's pretty old. It belonged to someone else. Bought it on Dollar Disc Golf. I really wish you guys would stop writing all over your discs. Just blemishes it. Especially when I get an ace and I want to, put my own name and my friends' names on it. But I love this disc. It actually is so broken in now that it'll flip over if I throw it flat. So I can just throw it nice and flat. It'll flip up, and then it'll hold that line for a good long time till pretty much the end of its flight, and then it'll fade out super late. I love having this disc in my bag. Especially for a driver that I could throw something about 400, 450 feet on an Annie, let it go the whole way, and then fade out super late. So, my favorite one here. Last but not least, I'll come a little closer so you can check this out. So this is my Mini. This is something that's close to my heart. I bought this Mini back in 2015, a couple months after I started playing disc golf. Went down to play La Mirada and visit some friends in LA. Really love this Mini. Of course, it's got the yin yang on it, so brings me zen when I'm lining up the putts. You can see it's got Discovering the World, which is a great little disc golf shop down in LA area. So that was my in the bag. Thanks for checking things out. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and check us out on Instagram @DolphinAtLete.